Yeah, hey everybody, this is Ian from mindfulmarketplace.com, and I just uploaded this PDF to your members area. If you're watching this within our community, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can obviously look at this on the screen. But essentially, this is a really simple heuristic for thinking about running Facebook ads to build your brand and business. I am certainly not a Facebook advertising expert, but I've been carefully watching folks who are and the general outline for this whole enterprise is quite simple. And you have to think about Facebook in terms of two different buckets, right? Your cold audience and your warm audience. I actually saw something earlier today from someone who is a Facebook advertising expert, a guy who runs the Viper contest software, which I have a lifetime license to, and I'm in their group. And I saw where he basically is calling this the prospecting bucket, and what I call the warm audience, he calls the retargeting bucket, which I think, in a certain sense, makes a lot more sense, or is a better, from a terminology standpoint, maybe a smarter way of describing it. So the goal of your prospecting or your cold audience is to get as much low cost, high volume traffic as you can. And you want to actually motivate these folks to make these little micro commitments that immediately put them into your retargeting column, right? Your retargeting bucket. So once they do something, let's say, like visit a website or visit a specific page on your site, or have an add to cart action or watch a video, you can actually retarget just those folks by dint of using custom audiences. Now, I'm going to give you three really quick ways of doing that if you're just starting out, that I think are quite unique relative to the brand, the authority site or the brand building model for those folks in my specific audience, right? So, if you're building a web directory or a community of some kind, one of the really helpful things that you can do for yourself is, let's say you have a um, a blog post, right? That's on how the best pizza place in your town, or the best, or the three best florists in your town, or, whatever your niche is, whatever your, vertical is. If you're building something that's like international, this works. If you're building something that's hyper local, it works. But let's say you're just getting started and you don't really have much traffic, you don't have much trust, and you don't have much traction. One of the things that you can do if you have a post that's getting some traffic is you set up a custom audience for folks who are landing on that one page, right? And then you retarget them the next day with an ad that is designed to draw the attention of everyone who is competing in that space. So let's say it was, a pizza place at the New Jersey Shore, right? And let's say you're getting really bad traffic overall, but for whatever reason, you're either getting traffic to a blog post or a specific listing. Let's say you rank really well for like Joe's Pizza, right, in yourtown.com, right? So all you're going to do is you are going to run a ad targeting just the folks who are landing on Joe's Pizza's listing. Now, there are lots of ways that you can tweak this. Some may be, I don't want to say unethical, but it may be more aggressive that you may be comfortable with. You could actually run an ad that said, eating at Joe's Pizza, right? And you could tag them. There's all kinds of ways you could do this. And people who have just landed on your site the day before, on Joe's Pizza, are now getting served a new ad that targets, best pizza in your town. And you could actually tag like 7 or 8 places, do like a survey, question, best pizza in, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Is it Joe's, John's, Jane's, Jeans, or Josephine's, right? And you could tag all those businesses. And essentially, you are going to attract their attention, obviously. But the people who are seeing that ad are going to be just the people who are landing on your site, who are looking for, either Joe's Pizza or the best pizza in your town. So one of the things that I know from launching these sorts of sites often in the past is in the very beginning, it's hard to get, trust, traction, and traffic. Right? Trust you need traffic, and you need traction. You need engagement in a community. You need the trust of the public and the professional peers, and you need traction. Right? You need something that entrenches you in the space in a way that engenders the other two, the traffic and the trust. So, you know, the way that you can leverage that is you're going to get the pizza places themselves are going to start looking at, now obviously this is a theoretical or hypothetical, or now looking at your post wondering what the hell is this? And then people are going to be engaging with that, right? The public are going to be engaging. Oh, I love Joe's, or I love Josephine's. Oh, Jean's is the best. Whatever it may be, there's going to be a conversation on your community, and then you're going to get people who are going to, like you're going to get some interesting little interactivity between the different pizza places, maybe some good humor, or maybe just they're going to reach out to you and say, "Hey, how do I get a listing, or how do I upgrade mine, or how do I get more, prominently positioned on your platform," right? So that's one, right? Leverage what you already have, right? Take advantage of what's already available to you, and then leverage that in a way, what can you leverage to launch? What can you borrow to build? Well, you can borrow, that's the, the underlying motto or the slogan that we try to, look at all the stuff through that lens. What can you borrow to build? What can you leverage to launch? Well, if you have traffic, even if it's a little bit in a very narrow space within your niche or your locality or your industry, you can leverage that. You can borrow that little bit of traffic to snowball that to some more traffic, and then you can continue to rinse and repeat and replicate this process in, let's say, Chinese food, or dentists, or florists, or dry cleaners, or if you're just in a niche, and you're not a locality, whatever is working for you, you just continue to use Facebook to, turn, prospects into retargeting candidates, and, drive revenue, right? Again, I don't think I closed that loop before, but the cold traffic, or what the guys at Viper would call the prospecting column, is the goal is just, high volume traffic, low cost, high volume traffic. But this bucket here, warm, it's got to be about driving revenue, right? Or what I'm calling serve and scale, right? So all of that's really, really easy to do if you follow this general heuristic. You can actually download this. And I'm going to have some examples of what we're doing in our mindfulness community in June and July that you can also watch as well. All right, so the next